Alright, y'all, so y'all already know I'm already about to be jamming, and I don't want to register this music, but we're about to jam out for a few minutes, few seconds. Tell me if you fucking with me. Pussy, that ain't nothing to me. I can be so down. We be focused on everybody and everything, but I stop. You so hurt, you don't know how to love. And you don't give a fuck. But self-respect won't let you let your skin give a fuck. I'm saying I feel like turning it off. Fuck the world without a cop. Room full of demons, I'm still fighting, I ain't giving up. Tell me if it's real enough, you look me in my eyes. Even though I know what I'm doing, damn, it makes a nigga try. And I ain't never tell you lies, I'm too G for that. I'm so tired of leaving you hard, ain't no keeping that. And I ain't never tell you lies, I'm too G for that. Alright, y'all, so yes, today I am going to be talking about strength. Okay, so strength is a major thing in spirituality because, as we all know, like, listen, it gets hard out in these streets. Okay, it definitely does. So, like, and it requires, and I don't say strength in a physical form, I mean internally, and this is one of the things why one of the reasons why a lot of people struggle, and sometimes just let life take a toll on them, like, and don't even try to get back up because they lack that internal strength. You know what I'm saying? Still, believing and trusting that everything is going to be okay despite the trials and tribulations. Okay, so yes, today I want to talk about strength. So, what is strength when it comes to spirituality? Like I said, it's all about that internal, strength. It's not about physical, okay? So, it's more so that internal thing that keeps on, like, even when you have no more fight in you, you still have that little bit of ounce, you still maximize it and try to get to the furthest point that you can. You know what I'm saying? Until you get that, that next breath of, like, strength. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, that's what that is in spirituality, and it also creates resiliency. Okay, so I know you've seen a lot of people. I won't say a lot of people. Some people, they have that resiliency in them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, I seen you went through many challenges, many trials and tribulations, and you see this person and they're still fighting. You know what I'm saying? And not only fighting in a, not only fighting and getting back up, but in a positive way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you call resiliency. Okay, that's what you call that internal strength, even when life has truly have beat up on you, knocked you down. I mean, to the point where you're like, how is this person standing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is this person standing? And not only how, but I commend this person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you have been through tremendous amount of trials that cause inflicted pain. You know what I'm saying? Sorrow, despair, whatever the case may be. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that internal strength is resiliency. Okay, and like I said, it's hard, for some people to still hold on to that little bit of ounce of faith or hope or in that strength. You know what I'm saying? To keep on fighting. And like I said, hence, some people just let life take over, and then they turn to other things, and then their life, next thing you know, their life has passed them by, and they're still in that same position, let alone, but in a worse way. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I want to talk about strength, because it's very important. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, life is interesting. Okay, it is. But if you let it be your teacher, you will be able to be very knowledgeable, and be able to obtain a lot of wisdom. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you let it be your teacher, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that you're not going to go through pain or anything like that, but it means embrace it. You know what I'm saying? But don't let it break you. Be as flexible as possible. You have to in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to be very flexible, because life is unexpected, and I don't mean as in creation, but I mean as in the things that the things that occur in life is very, it's very interesting. Okay, so strength is something that, is required, and I don't mean physical. And a lot of people One of my talking points here is they are two completely different things. Physical strength and internal strength is very, very different. Very and I'm not talking superficial. I'm not talking about, okay, yeah, clearly the word internal and physical is different. Yes, it's different, but I mean as in just like in depth. You know what I'm saying? You can do a lot of things with physical. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody can appear extremely physically fit, but they lack the internal strength. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just put it just like that. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody can appear physically weak. Appear, that's the key word. Appear. You know what I'm saying? But has that resiliency in them. So that's why I talk about strength, because strength is, it comes in many forms, and in spirituality it deals with that internal strength. You have to, have that internal strength to keep on dealing with the things that come against you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you are, spiritual, that means that you are pure. You're, someone that is upright. So you will face a lot of challenges, especially if you're like, upright, should I say. So, and you will be misunderstood, which will require internal strength. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody will understand you. You know what I'm saying? Period. And even if you're not spiritual, if you're different, you're different. So, like, that is adversity in itself. So strength is something that is definitely needed when dealing with, life in general. So let's see. What is strength when it comes to spirituality? And I'm gonna give you an example, meaning as in resiliency, as in standing in your storm without changing a piece of you, but enhancing it. Okay, a lot of the times, like I said in the beginning of the video, a lot of the times life, we go through a period of it where it's raining like cat. I'm gonna use old saying like cats and dogs. I don't know if you ever heard of that saying, but it's just like a severe storm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything is just falling apart. You're losing friends. You feel like you have to separate from family. You're losing a job. Like, you're just losing all the way around across the board. Like, you know what I'm saying? During that period of time, strength is required. And if you are moving in that strength, that internal strength, you will move with grace. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times, some people don't know how to weather that storm. So the only way they know how to weather it is to be, how should I put this? Is to be completely opposite of themselves, because they feel like that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? And in all reality, to me, that's not what it's about. Don't get me wrong. In that storm, it is meant for you to shift and change some things, but not ultimately remove the things that was innately you. It was meant for you to be enhanced. Okay, so during my storms, I had to realize a lot of different things that I lacked. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't let it change me, meaning I didn't let it change my positivity. I didn't let it change my, my compassion. I didn't let it allow it to change my empathy. If not, during that storm, I was even more, it was more so exacerbated during that time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was very, very sensitive. So during a storm, it's supposed to exacerbate to me. It's supposed to exacerbate, and build. Because, and I say this because when you're going through a storm, remember, spirituality is all about, being. You know what I'm saying? And universally being. So understanding people. So if the storm is coming and it's exacerbating you, that means that you are stepping into yourself even more and extending yourself, because you know what a storm can be. I hope that you're following me. So you know what a storm can be. So you're there. You know what I'm saying? You are connecting now. Because now you're weathering a storm. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. So, it allows you to be even more compassionate, even more, sensitive, even more empathetic, even more sympathetic. So, don't let the storm change you. Let it enhance you. That's what it's all about, at least to me. And I hope it makes sense to you now. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all human. And that's what spirituality is all about. So, let's see. How to manage internal strength and physical strength. How to manage it and how to understand it. Triggers. That's the only word I'm going to say. Triggers. Triggers is that key to all things, although it is very uncomfortable to feel them. It's very, because a trigger is a trigger. It automatically, simultaneously trigger a response. Not even a response, a reaction. It triggers a reaction, but that's how you gain control of internal and physical strength. Internal strength is dealing with that trigger. Instead of reacting, now you are dealing with yourself. Because nobody should be able to trigger you. If they can trigger you, that means that it's something that is not healed in you, and that's something that I talked about in shadow working. And that was a previous video that I do recommend you watching. So yes, triggers is that one thing that will help you build internal strength. Because now you have more control. You have more control of your emotions. So, that I hope that makes sense to you too. So next time, if you feel like you're triggered, don't react. And if you catch yourself reacting, or if you do react and and hopefully you remember this video, go back. And actually, I'm going to say, apologize. You may not agree with me, but, that's something that you need to do with. Because when we react, we kind of over-exaggerate. When we react, we don't really speak with respect. We're becoming disrespectful because we were triggered. That's what that is. So, although, and I don't mean as a respond like, I meant apologize as if you are sorry for what you did. No, apologize for the reaction, the action. Because you could have, even if it did trigger you, you could have handled it a different way, because we're talking about emotional control now. So, you could have respond instead of react. So, and react and respond is two different things. React is not thinking. It's like a reaction. Responding is you are thinking, and now you're responding to what took place. Yes, so I hope you think about this video. Okay, let's see. These two things are completely different. Like I said, and I spoke about that a few minutes ago, they are completely different. Physical and internal strength is two different things. You can physically do anything. Internally, are you able to stand in adversity? Internally, are you able to step out on your truth? Are you able to step into each room and be authentic without feeling you have to conform? Are you able to do that, but without being aggressive, without being, stepping into that egotistical ways, meaning validation and all that other extra stuff? Spirituality is not about validation. It's not about, feeling the need of other people. Spirituality comes from within. So are you able to walk into a room and stand by yourself and not feel uncomfortable? That's internal strength. Are you able to stand in your truth when things come against you and not be disrespectful, not react but respond and stand in it and know who you are? That's internal strength. That's internal strength. Internal strength is also being able to give other people space to be truthful about themselves and be who they are without feeling like you have to change them or you have to change to fit in or whatever the case may be. That's internal strength. When everything is coming up against you and you still have to wake up and face what you have to face, that is internal strength and facing it with grace. Facing it with peace, facing it with love, facing it with peace and compassion. Wake up, although it's raining like cats and dogs, emotionally or spiritually or mentally, You still wake up and still extend that peace. You wake up and go to the store and say good morning. You wake up and still speak with people with respect, not with anger, not with bitterness, not with misery. That is internal strength. That is faith. That is hope. That is belief. Yes. So, let's see. Internal strength is courage. And I just said all of that. Like, in the beginning, like, it's courage. Being able to walk as your true self. Being able to walk in a storm. Face adversity. That is courage. Stepping out on your beliefs. Stepping out on your goals. Stepping out on your dreams. That's strength. Because not everybody knows how to do it. Not everybody has faith. Not everybody has courage to do that. Strength. Facing adversity with grace and standing strong in yourself. So, yes, strength. Strength is something that everybody requires. And a lot of people think that just because you're physically strong, that you are invincible. No, a lot of things come spiritually. And a lot of things can break you spiritually. So, and there's a lot of people that's walking around physically fit, but down on the inside. So there's a difference. So, like I said, in order to build that strength, that internal strength, start loving on yourself. Start being at peace with yourself. And if you're not at peace with yourself, start figuring out some ways on how to be at peace with yourself. And that goes back to my shadow work. That's the only way that you can find peace in yourself is shadow working. And the triggers. The triggers is the secret. That's what that is. The triggers is your secret. Your secret that you don't want nobody to know, but everybody knows because you respond. You don't respond, I'm sorry, you react. But I say respond because now if somebody was to, say something to you, objectively speaking, I can see that you reacted to it, which was a response. And, oh, okay. But see, that's how manipulative people take advantage of you. Those buttons are triggers. But if you gain control of your triggers, shadow working, and you heal, you can't be taken advantage of. But it takes strength. It takes courage. It takes a lot to walk in your journey, because you've been through a lot on your journey. So, strength.